Guys, it's Amber and I hope you're enjoying a fabulous Sunday evening. I just want to give you a heartfelt thank you for your love, your support, your encouragement, your very thoughtful comments that you left on my Project Pan update. I mean, you are amazing, amazing. And if you are new, welcome. This is so cool that we as YouTubers are getting back to basics and we're sharing helpful information and just getting out of the rut of just hauls and empties. Today is no different. After I filmed my Project Pan update, which I'll go on and link in the description box below if you haven't had a chance to watch it, I talked very briefly on how I sanitize my makeup. And after I uploaded that video, I had multiple emails asking me to film an extensive video on how I sanitize my makeup. And I figured, you know, it's perfect time. We're spring cleaning. A lot of us are cleaning out our closets. We're cleaning out our handbags. We're doing vlog sales with our makeup and giveaways and giving makeup to family and friends. And so, can't tell you how imperative it is to clean and sanitize your makeup. I speak from experience. I have lived in 2 homes within the last about 10 years that have been old, and unbeknownst to my husband and me, had mildew issues in the walls and things like that. And so I have had to throw away 2 very extensive high-end makeup collections. You talk about crying and bummed out, and that sucked. Absolutely sucked. So, because of that, I have learned everything I possibly can about sanitizing my makeup collection, making the most of my investment, because I can't tell you, I mean, that hurts to literally have to throw away. Like my first collection, it was thousands of dollars of Bare Minerals products. And the second time it was Smashbox, Lancome, I mean, you name it. And I didn't even realize it, but with the mildew issues in my, in my homes where I was storing my makeup, part of the problem was I was storing it in my bathroom, but we'll get back to that in a minute. My makeup was oxidizing. There was bacteria buildup because your makeup is the perfect breeding ground for bacteria. And my products were oxidizing. So when I was putting them on my face, I was literally giving myself cystic acne. I wasn't sharing my makeup with anybody, thank goodness. But I was breaking out all over my face. I went and cried to my dermatologist because I was like, please help me. This is just painful. This is awful. And that's when we started realizing there was mildew. And then when we moved states and moved into another home, there was mold that had spread from the water spigot of our refrigerator, and my master bedroom and master bathroom were along that wall. And so when the mold started spreading, the first thing that it impacted was my makeup, because my makeup collection was along that wall. So yeah, it sucks. So now that I know how to store my makeup appropriately, and like when we bought our house here in Houston, I was like, we had the mold inspection, you name it, because I'm like, I am not throwing out thousands of dollars of makeup again. Like, no, absolutely not. But before we get started, why is it important that you sanitize your makeup? You spread bacteria. You spread viruses. I speak for myself right now. I'm dealing with allergies. I'm blowing my nose. I've got itchy, watery eyes. That garbage gets into my makeup. So it's important that you sanitize, especially if you are vlog selling and if you are doing giveaways and if you are passing along makeup that you don't use to your family and friends. Even if you know the person really, really well, you don't know. You don't know how they are storing their makeup at home, if they've been sick, this, that, and the other. Because like I said, I always keep a clean house, and like I was dealing with severe bacterial breakdown in my makeup. Like if I had shared makeup back then, I could have spread God knows what to people, So it's important, like before you put stuff on the market for your vlog sales and giveaways, and when you receive. Because even when I buy makeup at Ulta and Sephora and the department store, I disinfect it, because all you have between you and that product is cardboard packaging. You don't know what's happened along the way. People swatch stuff. People open up tubes. I mean, I've seen some interesting things because, like, one time I was at Sephora a couple months ago, and I was looking at YSL lipsticks, and there was a woman that was right next to me also looking at YSL lipsticks, and she didn't use the tester, y'all. She opened up a tube of the color she wanted, put it on her lips, and put it back in the cardboard packaging and onto the shelf. Ugh, like, no! And the horrible thing was, the sales girl, I mean, she was just as nice as the day is long, but she didn't do anything. I guess what can you do in that instance? But I was just kind of like, oh my God, you know? I know it's a YSL lipstick and it's like $30-something plus, but I'm like, you don't do that. No, 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 no. Reinforces why we need to sanitize our makeup at home, because you don't know. That YSL lipstick you may have a gal like I did when I went to the mall that just slap happy on her lips and drives on with her day. Like, I just, ooh. So, but you can spread acne, especially if you're dealing with contour breakouts and stuff, and you can reinfect yourself. I mean, it just, sucks. You can also spread herpes. You can spread conjunctivitis or pink eye. You can spread cold sores. If you're sharing makeup and like you give it to your sister and you've had allergies or things like that, you know, you can unfortunately spread that stuff on to your loved ones that you're giving makeup to. So do yourself a favor, sanitize your makeup. Sanitize. You don't have to do the expensive route to do it either. As far as actually sanitizing your makeup, all you need is to spend $2 or $3. Get yourself a bottle of isopropyl alcohol. If you live in Europe, Asia, anywhere else across the world, you might hear it called surgical spirit. But either way, it's the same thing. You want 70% or higher percentage of isopropyl alcohol. 70% is kind of the baseline of what you need to kill the bacteria. I got 70% because that's what was available at my grocery store when I bought it. If you buy 90% or better, the only difference is it absorbs faster and it will dry slightly faster than 70. But either way, you're fine if you buy 70% or better. And then as far as cleaning my brushes, I don't spend money on expensive brush cleaners. I still want the antibacterial properties and antimicrobial properties. So to clean my makeup brushes when I do a deep wash, y'all get ready for this. I use some Dawn dish soap, and I get Apple Blossom because I like the scent. I go on and use it for my dishes, so I wash my makeup brushes with it. And to keep my brushes soft and supple, if I'm using natural hair brushes, or you can use it on synthetic as well, I just use some olive oil, or you can use coconut oil. I combine these two together, and then I get the antibacterial properties of the dish soap and the softening effects of the olive oil. You don't have to spend a whole lot of money. I think that's where people tend to get a little bit confused and all that, because I mean, if you're doing professional makeup kits, you use rubbing alcohol, or there's some fancy brush cleaner. I can't remember right off the top of my head, but it's like $20 a bottle. Wayne Goss has mentioned it in his videos. Other professional makeup artists have mentioned it, but it's rubbing alcohol. It's Beauty So Clean. Is that it? Beauty So Clean. It has like nourishing ingredients in it, but it's rubbing alcohol. So you don't have to spend a lot of money. I mean, literally like $2 for your big bottle, and then get yourself a little travel size bottle in your travel section of Walmart, Target, etc. I got this for 99 cents, and this is what I use every day to sanitize all of my makeup. So before we get into it, let's go on and talk about how I store my brushes, clean my brushes, and then we'll get into cleaning the makeup. As far as my brush storage, I do not use the jars on my vanity counter. I have dogs, I have small children, so I'm constantly having to deal with dog hair getting into my cosmetic products if I leave them out, pet dander, dirt, and all that stuff, because, you know, look at a house, like when you have dogs and you think about how much you have to clean your living room floor, imagine all that nonsense in your makeup. And then, you know, with my children, there's no telling. I don't want them going in and putting their gummy hands all over my makeup, and, you know, it's gross. So, I went on to Etsy and I found this cute little brush roll. The seller I bought this from is called a Soft Black Star. You can look up her shop. She has some really cool makeup brush rolls. And all I do with this is I store my daily brushes in here, and I use the brush roll because I can toss this in the washer and dryer whenever I deep clean my brushes. So everything is sanitized, nice and clean, and I don't have to worry about reinfecting my face with all sorts of dust and pet dander and nastiness. All my brushes are dirty right now. I do need to go through and clean them with my deep clean. So basically, when you deep clean your brushes, you want to clean them in the sink. You don't want to use hot water. It doesn't have to be cool, but you want it like lukewarm, or if you want it a little bit warmer, not too much. Because what happens is if you have too hot of water, it will loosen the glue in the ferrule of your brushes. This is the ferrule of the brush where the bristles are literally glued into the handle. Whenever you wash your brushes, like I'm not going to show you right now, I'll just kind of explain it to you. When I wash my brushes, I turn on the faucet of my kitchen sink, and whenever you run your brushes, run them at an angle like this, because if you turn them up like this under the water, when the water gets down into the ferrule or this like orange part of this Real Techniques brush, it will loosen the glue and your bristles will fall out, or you'll have shedding problems. That's another thing. If you have shedding problems with your brushes, unfortunately some brushes just do that when you first get them. But if you notice that over time your bristles are shedding, a lot of it is because the glue has loosened in the ferrule. And a lot of it can be contributed to the way you're washing your brushes. So when I stick my brushes under, I just do it at an angle like this. I try to squeeze out as much product as I can. And then I take a ramekin. You can use a bowl, you can use a plate, you can use whatever you want. Excuse me. And basically what I do is I pour in, I just kind of judge it. I use more for bigger brushes, but I kind of squirt enough to cover half the bottom of this ramekin of dish soap. And then I pour the other half in with the olive oil. And then I take my wet brush and I swirl it in the mixture until it gets nice and foamy. You want to swirl your brush like this for at least 30 seconds to get the antibacterial properties. And again, if you use baby soap and all that good stuff, you're not going to get necessarily the antibacterial stuff, even though you're cleaning your brushes. So if that works for you, by all means, don't stop doing it. But if you want to take that extra step, the dish soap will help you out. But in any case, keep doing your 30 seconds. I tend to do mine for about 50 to a minute. Because I want to make sure that water is completely cloudy with product, especially with brushes like this that tend to be dirtier because they're covering my entire face. And then I go through, back under my running water, or before, I sometimes do it before too, but I squeeze out all of the product, all of the eyeshadow, the foundation, you name it. I squeeze out as much as I can, and then I rinse it, keep squeezing. And then if I look at the brush and I can still see any discoloration, like for this one, it should be, very, very pristine white. If I see any discoloration, I go back through with more dish soap, more olive oil, and repeat the process again. To dry my brushes, I use a microfiber towel because it is very non-damaging to the bristles. You don't want to splay them, so don't use terry cloth. You can use an old t-shirt, or if you have like one of those fancier like car washing towels, basically they're microfiber. Bar towels, that's a good one. Or baby blanket, like the bar towel baby blanket material. But I go through and I squeeze the water out of my bristles. I don't rub, I don't do this because the brushes will dry splayed and gross and nasty. So take that microfiber towel, same concept with curly hair. Squeeze out the moisture as much as you can and then lay it flat to dry. Synthetic brushes will dry faster than your natural hair. So if you have MAC brushes, they'll take slightly longer. Real Techniques and other synthetic brushes, super fast. You'll be able to use these in a few hours. Whereas natural hair brushes, you're going to have to wait. If I wash mine in the morning, they're generally ready, later that night, but I usually can't touch up my face, until the next morning. So I like synthetic brushes a little bit better. And as I replace my brushes, I replace them with synthetic because these dry literally in like 4 hours. So if you wash them after you do your makeup in the morning, they're ready to go by the time you need to touch up before you go to dinner. Okay? And then that's about it as far as cleaning my brushes. Now, for sanitizing my makeup, all I do is I put the rubbing alcohol in the spray bottle. Let's see if I can talk today. And I use this, since I don't share my makeup with anybody, I just spray my makeup after each use, and I make sure to wipe down my container. So if I go through like with this Marc Jacobs blush, and I have to make sure I sanitize this one, I need to wear it or weightless because the packaging on this just infuriates me because it won't stay closed. But basically what I do is I go in with my blush like this, and after I use it, I just spray my blush like so, let it dry. You can also take cotton rounds. I prefer these over cotton balls because they don't have all the extra hair. But you can take a cotton round and basically wipe around the exterior of your product, or you can use Q-tips as well. But I just go through, wipe down the edges of my product, make sure I don't have any lingering things, and then let the rest of it dry so that it's nice and sanitized. If you need to go a step further, like if you've purchased something in a vlog sale, you can gently scrape off the top layer of the product and then sanitize it with your rubbing alcohol. You can also do this with cream products and things like that, but if it's just you, all you have to do is go through and just spray it before you use it and give it a couple seconds or minute to dry. Like I said, it's going to depend on your strength of alcohol. And then I for sure do this after I finish using my product. So I literally spray everything down before I put it away. Same thing with your eyeshadows. Like if you have a large palette, like my Naked palette, I just go through, spray my shadows, let them dry. This will help your makeup to last for years, because that's one of the reasons why your makeup doesn't hold up, is because over time it breaks down. Makeup companies do instill some antibacterial properties, but generally they're gone after about a year of owning that product and opening it and using it. So you want to make sure that you go through, like my Naked palette's like 4 years old, so you want to make sure that you go through and sanitize it as you're using it. Now, I learned a tip that I personally haven't tried yet, but I heard about it today, to sanitize mascara. According to Dr. Oz, you can stick it in the freezer overnight, and the sub-zero temps are supposed to kill all the bacteria. The research is out in the open on that. I mean, I wouldn't know if it kills the bacteria or not, but thought I would try it just to see, since a lot of us are project painting mascaras and we own a lot of mascaras. So again, leave it in a closed tube. Like here's my Lancome Hypnose Drama. Leave it in a closed tube and pop it in the freezer, pull it out in the morning, and supposedly, voila, the bacteria is killed. But like I said, I don't know how valid that is. Now, what you can do, make sure that when you use any pump products like your lip glosses, mascara that have applicators, don't pump your products. That means don't pump the applicator up and down, because each time you pump, adding that extra air will put bacteria that is airborne into your product, and you're just creating a very warm, sticky mess for that stuff to grow and make problems for you. And like if you're breaking out around your lips and you're breaking, your eyes are breaking out, it's probably because you have bacteria in like your lip gloss and your mascara. So don't pump your wands, just kind of go in, use it one applicator at a time. Don't do this. And then when you're done, close it up. And again, with mascaras, throw these out every 3 months. Don't try to use your mascara for a year. I know you can read stuff on the internet that says you can sanitize your wands and stuff. Unless you're using disposable ones, you're still introducing bacteria back into that, container. So I personally wouldn't trust that. So 3 months at the most, like 4 or 5 months for mascara. And then like lip glosses, I usually keep them without questioning it for about a year. After that, I kind of keep an eye on how they look, how they smell, how they taste. and I toss them as needed. So just tips for those. Now, as far as lipstick, you can sanitize these completely for vlog sailing. Again, use your rubbing alcohol. Like for me, since it's just me using it, like here's a Maybelline Color Vivid lipstick in Brazenberry. I just go through, spray my tube, and I let it dry. The other thing you can do is pour some rubbing alcohol into your ramekin, and then wipe off the top of the lipstick. Like if you buy it in a vlog sale or you receive it in a giveaway, wipe off the top layer of the lipstick with a napkin or a paper towel, and then dip it into the rubbing alcohol for 30 seconds. Your lipstick will be nice and sanitized, and then just let it air dry. As far as your tube applicators like this is an eyeshadow primer from Too Faced, or if you have like the Bite Beauty Agave lip mask, or if you have glosses that have a squeeze tube, try not to apply them straight to your lips or to your fingers. If you have the agave lip tube, kind of put it on a mirror or the back of your hand, then dip your finger in and apply it to your lips, so that way you can keep it sanitary and your product will last longer with the same efficacy as the day you bought it. As far as eye primers, what you can do is spray the top of your tube like so, wipe it off with a towel, go through with a Q-tip and spray your Q-tip, and then you can clean the inside of the lid. That way you make sure everything is nice and sanitized. You won't change the texture of your product. The squeeze tubes are actually the most hypoallergenic because there's not a lot of ways for bacteria to get down into these. But literally, if you're touching your eye primer to your finger as you're applying it, you're introducing whatever's been on your finger into your primer. So you want to make sure to clean and sanitize those. And then, as far as your creams and gels, what you want to do, like here I'll show you a Maybelline Color Tattoo. These are perfect havens for bacteria to go in and break down because they're moist environments. You can also use this technique if you have a MAC fluid line or any of your cream liners, your gel eyeliners. Basically with this, you want to go through, spritz it like so, and then let it dry upside down on a paper towel, so that way you don't create any puddles of moisture in your products. So just kind of dry it like this on top of a paper towel, and then you're ready to put your lid back on it, and it's not going to change the texture of your product. The other thing that you can do, if you have loose powders, one of the things I do with my Bare Minerals, since I'm pouring fresh powder into my lid, you want to make sure you clean your lid, and all I do with this is I spray it with rubbing alcohol and wipe it down. And then if you're really paranoid about it, if you've gotten it in a giveaway or a vlog sale, or you want to clean it for yourself, you can take out your sifter and clean that as well. So that's about it. You can also sanitize your okay, I forgot pencil eyeliners. The other thing that you can do, like with your pencil liners, like this is a Rimmel lip liner pencil in nude. I have to sanitize this often because I use it on my waterline. That's the quickest way to spread conjunctivitis, even over lining your lower lash line. All I do with mine is I go on and spritz it with rubbing alcohol, and then I run it through my sharpener to get off that top layer of gunk. And then you can also clean your sharpeners with rubbing alcohol. You can clean your tweezers with rubbing alcohol. You can clean your lash curlers with rubbing alcohol. And you can also clean, the insides of your lipstick tubes and things like that, because it's metal. They're going to resist some of the bacteria if you have a metal container. But even if you have like the twist top eyeliners, you can still go through and spritz those with alcohol and then just wipe them down. Like with this, I can go through after and wipe this down, and it's nice and cleansed, and then I can go through and sharpen it to make sure that everything's nice and sanitized. So in any case, I hope that was helpful. That's about it. Stay tuned. I'm going to be having a couple videos this week using my Mother's Day makeup appropriate with purple eyeshadow. And I am just about wrapped up on totaling up how much my daily face costs. It's embarrassing, but then again, I'm not embarrassed because I know you're in the same boat I am. So stay tuned for those this week, and I hope you guys have a wonderful week. Oh, and I've got Where to Waitlist Wednesday coming up, and I'm going to tell you, I've got a couple of waitlist things I'm going to talk about, and then I've got a new, like, DD cream that we need to discuss, because this is interesting, to say the least. So that's about it. I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your weekend and get started off to a good week, and I will see you next time. Bye.